The first drill we got is a knee hug. We're going to be taking our time nice and slow. We're going to be trying to pull our knee up to our chest, bringing our toes up as well. As you progress and get a lot better at this, take your time. So bringing that knee all the way up. Good holds, big step out, right into the next one. Have the cone set out at about 10 yards, roughly 10 big steps, so I can get close to 10 reps in. And again, as you begin, it may only be a 1 second holds, but as you progress, hoping to get, up to 3 seconds, shoot, even in 5 seconds if they're really good at it. You're going to take that all the way down. Finishing all the way through. First thing was a knee hug. We're gripping our knee, pulling it up as tall as we can, bringing our toe up as well. The next thing we have in the same pace is a quad stretch. We're going same side, same leg, same count, trying to keep our knees close to. Just really working on our quad. Sometimes I call these flamingos. All right, the next thing we have is a high knee. We're going to start to pick up the pace a little bit, using our arms, driving our knees up dynamically. At this point, we should have a pretty good range of motion. Again, bringing our toes up as well, just like we did in our knee hug. And go. All right, next we have a back pedal. The best tips I can give for this is try to keep the athlete's chest over their toes in a good athletic stance. So I'll back up here so you can see. Chest staying over the toes, good athletic stance, still moving our arms, and we're pushing back. All right, and the next thing we have is a lateral shuffle. We're going to do this in both directions, so one down and one back, facing the same direction, so we're pushing from the right and the left side, staying nice and athletic and balanced. For this shuffle, I would strive to have better technique than speed. And by technique, just focusing on a few cues. I'm going to back up so you can see my feet here. If I'm shuffling in that direction, I want to prevent my foot from opening up and turning this into a gallop. The more we can keep our body square, the more that it becomes a lateral movement, a side-to-side movement. And that's just going to strengthen these muscles, making sure that in sport, they have the ability to change directions pretty quickly. Another big emphasis, making sure that the eye level stays nice and consistent. We don't want to be bobbing up and down, making it like a jump. We want all of our focus to be in this lateral movement, this lateral push. All right, the next thing we have is a karaoke. This is going to take a little bit of practice if you have not done this before, but it's all broken down into 4 steps. So if you can find that 4-step rhythm, you can pick up the pace after, but really just to start honing in on that movement pattern. So back up here. If I'm going in this direction here, again, it's 4 steps. Our first step, we're going to take our back leg and we're going to cross it over in the front. All right, we're going to start opening up the hips a little bit. That leg comes over. That's our 1. We're going to step out with our lead leg. That's 2. Rear leg then goes behind for 3. Lead leg goes out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go ahead and go through that here really quick. And as you start to get a better feel for it, really work the full range of motion on this hip. Bring that leg all the way up and over. So again, same thing going back. Next thing we have is a pogo jump. Now to start to bring in a little more of the plyometric work, the jumping abilities, the lower limb aspect. So for this, our athlete is going to try to use both feet to bounce off the ground as fast as they can, spending a little amount of time on the ground as possible, similar to using a pogo stick. So on a pogo stick, we'd be here and we'd be bouncing just like this. Same concept, except instead of our hands being on a handlebar, we're going to use our hands to build momentum. So in this pogo jump, as we bounce up, we are going to pull our arms up, giving us a little extra momentum through that jump. When we go down, hands go back. And this is going to put us right in a good rhythm to jump into, no pun intended, right into our broad jumps to finish off. So again, feet are going to be forward, hands are front. Okay, and the goal is to get a little bit forward each time over the 10 yards. We're going to try to get about 10 to 14 jumps. And then the last thing we are going to finish off with broad jumps. This is going to be all out, really exert the athlete. They are trying to do a squat jump as far as they possibly can while landing with good technique, right? Landing nice and soft, accepting the ground for 10 yards. So, challenge your athlete. If going through halfway, they've got about 3 jumps in, challenge them to get there in 6 or in 5 jumps. And you'll slowly start to see the more output that the athlete has, the less jumps it takes to get from one end to the other. All right, and then a few cues that I like to look at and drill with my athletes is the starting position. I like to pull hands up, hips through, right? Hands up and hips through. When it's time to go back, we're going to push our hands back and our hips back. Hands and hips, keeping our chest up in a good athletic stance. And from this point, when we rip back forward, just like when we were doing with our pogo jumps, we're going to push out, creating as much force as we can to get far out. Again, hands up, hips are forward. Hands are up, hips are forward. Hands go back, hips go back, keeping our chest up, and then we explode up and through. See, I didn't land that one extremely soft. I was really trying to push to get there in 3 jumps. Last one, even though I only have a short amount of space, I'm going to go try to get as far as I can. All right, so that wraps up our dynamic warm-up. At this point would be a great time to give the athlete a water break, let their muscles, kind of feel that activation and get them ready for the remainder of each session.